Testing. Still now? Testing. I think I finally hear myself in YouTube. Now the question is there a delay? We have to look. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I gotta do one more thing. And this is the only one that I have audio on. Properties. That should be good. Okay. I don't think there's going to be an echo now. Let me know if there's a reverb. Then we can actually begin. Do we still even have audio? No reverb, that's good. We have audio. We can actually begin this. I can tell my story about why I'm screwing around with the audio. It's gonna be a little bit noisy too. So this has been one of those days where nothing has worked for me. The APU build, which I'm doing my streaming from, decided it was going to stop APUing. And whenever it would load up Windows, the video would cut off and I'd get a black screen. But I knew Windows was working because I could hear, Windows going bloom, bloom whenever I was trying to hit keyboard combinations. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go to safe mode, going to use display driver and installer, and I'll be good to go. But Windows 10 has been trying to hide safe mode for quite some time now. Like every single build, it gets more and more hidden in the installation media. And now finally it's just gone for good and you can't find it anywhere. The only way I can find to get safe mode is if you're inside of Windows and you enable safe mode. And I tried to confirm this with Microsoft and it looks like, yeah, they've been trying to get rid of it for a while because of security reasons. Bummer. It's a big bug bummer. But, so I decided to reinstall my machine from scratch so I could do the stream anyways. I'm so sorry that it's taken so long, and then I had to mess with the audio again, because I don't really know why I can't get that to work the first time. So, yeah, that's my day. Yeah, Felix, Windows does just assume that we can't take care of ourselves in these regards, in these manners. So I don't really have a lot of time today because I've been troubleshooting all sorts of different things. Couldn't even start the stream earlier because thunderstorm took out the internet. But I said that we'd begin work on Remiel. And I put a link in the description, which is just gone now, for Remiel. It's a mod I built a while back for my first venture into YouTube with a friend. He filmed it all, and you guys can go back and watch it later. For those of us who are watching the stream not live, make sure that you enable the chat by going to the top right if you're on the desktop version and go to, I'm going to see what it actually says. It's like enable top chat or enable all chat. Click enable all chat because really the fun of a live stream is the chat and the participation in the community. So I recommend that you do that. Okay, so Remiel, I don't really have a plan here. That's what I wanted to do with you guys today, is get a plan, get her cleaned up, and maybe test out the hardware for her. So she's really dusty, been stripped down. For cleaning, I like to use a horsehair's brush and a microfiber. And the horsehair's brush is actually really useful. You just go buy one on Amazon. No, you can't right now because Amazon Prime is broken because of Prime Day. And this gets into like motherboards and graphics cards really well, and it cleans up all that dust that you can't really get to with a dust blower or anything like that. I don't really need it for Remiel, but if I do need it, I have it there. It kind of is the same shape as Alberta. Oh, I've had worse luck today than that, Eric. The day started off with a chargeback from a customer for a build, and I can't figure out why. I want to get in touch with the customer and figure out what happened because The Mini was delivered. It says it was delivered, and I even have an email with the customer confirming it was delivered. So I want to figure that out. I always want to make sure my customers are happy, and if there's a chargeback, generally means that there's something not happy about it. And then I made a mistake shipping another customer a power button, and he's headed off to Taiwan on Wednesday. So I had to run to the post office and ship it overnight, which was really expensive just for a tiny little button. But, you know, it's my mistake, and I want to take care of my customer and not put him out. And then some other personal things. But nothing's, like, worked today at all. It's been crazy. I wanted to browse Prime Day and see if there's anything, you know, I know it's all mostly just junk they try to get you on, but I couldn't even get the site to load. And every time I'd click on See Deals, it just refresh it to the main site. And there was some inventory I needed to order as well for a build, and I actually couldn't order it, so I have to wait till tomorrow to order it, because it just kept giving me weird errors with pictures of cute dogs. Hello, Harrow. I'm probably not going to be building anything like the lock ghost case. Maybe I'll do a one-off build, but I just have so many builds planned for the next 4 months, so I'm probably not going to get to something like that. Ooh, Andrea Sassy, is that how you say your name? You were asking why I don't have dust filters on the S4 Mini, and you're right, it's about airflow. The Mini only has really just 2 fans, right? The CPU fan and the GPU fan, and it's not so much sucking air in as it's blowing air around and pushing air in the Mini out. So you do get dust in the fan blades, but you wouldn't really gain much by putting filters in it, which I tested out because there was a big fad for a very long time where if it didn't have a dust filter, people were just not interested in it. But it didn't really work. And on top of that, of course, it got really hot. But the Mini's design, it doesn't really get dusty. You know what gets dusty? My main machine with air filters in it. You know, you have to clean out the systems anyways after a month, and it's just a pain taking those filters out, blowing them out, rinsing them out in the sink. It's just, to me, it's better just to drag it outside and use the leaf blower on it. But I realize that people are very particular about their dust filter. I also like this horsehair brush because I couldn't use the microfiber on this bracket because it's like a textured paint, but a horsehair's brush will get the dust off real easy. Look at all that. I'm going to unbolt this so I can get access to the motherboard tray. I think this is 5mm, but I might have used standard. Oh yeah, and of course, the only wrench that's missing is going to be the one that's going to undo this. And I don't know where that went off to. I might have to make a trip out to the garage. The garage. Okay, I'm gonna get my big box of Allen keys. Be right back. Oh, I remember what we were going to do today. We were going to roll random for the Ryzen CPU giveaway. I wanted to do that live. Thought that would be a little bit better. I'll do that right after I find a key for this. It's going to be a 1/4 inch. Gross. This could take literally all day. Are you serious? Change of plan. I have a solution for this. So yeah, sorry about starting late. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this system on, never turn it off ever again until I get a more permanent capture card solution. It's pretty rinky-dink at this time. I have coming out of my camera HDMI and an SDI converter, and then into a SDI capture card. Like just to get a HDMI to USB 3. Well, what if I told you I had iFixit tool sets, but who knows where those are? You know, I think it'd be fun too, if you guys are interested, I believe I have the CAD for this design. I could upload it if you wanted to go have your own made. But that's only if you really, really, really want it. Now I have access to the acrylic. This is Novus 1. This stuff is magic sauce. It's fresh squeezed unicorn. If you have like a camera or a computer, anything with plastic or rubber or acrylic surfaces, this stuff is what you need to do. It makes it like new again. Some people like to use like Armor All, but that leaves like a greasy streak sheen. It's not any good, but this is what you want to use to clean acrylic, because warm water is okay. Vinegar is okay, but you can't use stuff like Windex on acrylic. Or you shouldn't use stuff on like Windex on acrylic. This is actually the good stuff. This stuff is bulletproof glass. You finished a internal full water loop in number 77 and of S4 Mini Classic. I would love to see that. If you email it to me, I'll put a link in the chat so other people can look at it. How was it working with Linus on the S4MC showcase when I had to overnight the custom hot rod ram cutout? You know, I actually dealt with Linus directly. He emailed me and said, hey, I'd like to review your Mini. I'm like, well, that's cool. So he's the only person ever, I believe, that didn't purchase the Mini for review. And I wouldn't normally make exceptions, but I thought it'd be a lot of fun to have Linus do a review of the Mini, so I sent him one. And I sent him a whole kit with cables and wires and all that and a power brick. And they got it, and it got like lost in their warehouse or something. I'm not exactly sure what happened. But then they found it, and they wanted to make a review. It was several months later, right as I was running out of minis. It was a very bad time for him to do a video on it. And he's like, okay, we're going to do this, but this RAM that we're using for Corsair, it doesn't fit. So what are your ideas? And I was like, I don't have any. I know, we should cut a hole in it. So how about you send us a panel with a hole cut in it, and we'll fit it in there. And I think he actually came up with the idea for some trim. I don't remember exactly. I have to look at the email, but I just ended up getting some extra carbon fiber and I milled that out, cut the panel out, and it had to get to him. And so I sent it to him. And it was fine and dandy, but that got lost in the mail. So we had like 40 hours or something to the shoot, and like he emails me and says, "Where's this panel?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I sent it." And it just got lost in customs or something. So I had to go send it off again, and they overnight paid to have it shipped to Canada overnight from Mississippi. It was like $80 or something like that. I don't remember how much it was, but it was pricey. But they paid for the shipping for sure. And it was a lot of fun having Linus make a video of the S4 Mini, and I really appreciate the good job that they did. So, but what would be really interesting, I don't really know, I have a really bad eyesight from this far away, but Declan says that the video got him into ITX, and that's really awesome because I didn't really see a lot of emails or traffic or sales from that video, which was interesting. I figured that Linus's viewer base is just different from my viewer base for my product, but I still was really happy with the video. And if it got people into ITX, then that's amazing. I gotta blow up the chat so I can actually read from my desk. Chingy says that small form factor is not only ITX, and I could not agree more. For me, I don't care about volume or the motherboard size. For me, it's all about footprint. That's kind of how I approach doing mods. I hear all the time that, you know, there's only so many different layouts you can do, which I think is nonsense. All my mods I try to make as weird and different and unique as usual. And they all have a common theme though. It's the footprint. I want to reduce the footprint to as small space as possible, because that's what matters, right? How much does it take? How much space does your computer take up on your desk? That's to me what matters. Not volume, but how much actual space do you have to put a bunch of other junk like Cheeto bags and Mountain Dew and your enormous mouse pad and piles and piles and piles of bills. Hey Rod, how'd you stumble onto this stream? It's good to hear from you. Did you go to Linus's expo thing? I saw Bob went. Okay, well that's done. Alright, the hardware for this build. This hardware is going to be... This builds for Sapphire for Quakecon, so Sapphire GPU. This is a Vega 64 Nitro Plus, which I guess I'll do an unboxing of here first before moving on to the other hardware. We'll put this aside for now. When did we start? Oh, we started so late. We've achieved nothing. We've achieved nothing so far, JP. Oh no, before I do this, I want to give away that Ryzen CPU. So let me pull up my phone. And I'll open the Google Docs. I haven't replaced the battery on my iPhone, so it's very, very, very slow. Hums the Jeopardy tune. Okay, we had 15 people say that they wanted the Ryzen 5 1600 at the first stream that we did a couple days ago. So I'm going to find a roll random app because I don't know where my dice are. You guys can do a really long drum roll while I wait for my phone. I should have my iPad in here. The suspense. Still loading. It's not even my connection, which isn't great. Probably been faster to go to the App Store and get a dice rolling. Okay. That's not what I want. This is so bad I have to go to my Mac and make it do it work. I need a new phone. Okay, we rolled a 4 out of 15. So we go back over to my drive, which is gone. I have to load it up again because, of course, I switched away to Safari. Now, I do have a horse in this race. I'm hoping that it's going to be somebody in America, so I don't have to pay so much shipping. But the winner is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's Cirrus Lang. Cirrus Lang. So here's my list. These are all the YouTube names so I can show you. And I'll upload this to the link description. But Cirrus Lang is the winner of the Ryzen 1600. So sorry that that was kind of so weird. I should have prepared better for that, but congrats to you. And if I can't get in touch with you, then I guess I will give it to somebody else after I roll again. Hey, you right there. You right there in chat. Well, congratulations, buddy. Ugh, need a forklift to get this guy out. Oh my goodness. This is the heaviest GPU I have ever held. Not the heaviest one I've seen, because Asus has made some big cards back in the day. What was like their triple decker called? That came like in that briefcase. I can't think of the name of it right now. Mars? We could do another giveaway quite soon. Ah. Oh man. This thing is huge. In fact, we can give away an RX 580. I think it would be cool if the super chats could pay for one and then I could just give it away. I don't need to make any money off of it, but we'll see what happens. We can go for, yeah, Ares or Mars, one of those two. Yeah, but as soon as the super chats pay, I think that'd be fun to use the super chat money for, just buying hardware and giving it away. So here we are, the Nitro Fury. Not the Nitro Fury, what am I talking about? The Vega 64, and this is a cool looking card. Absolutely massive. But this thing is also absolutely massive. And the center of gravity should be okay for it. The backplate's nice with a nice matte finish. The Nitro Guy logo is embossed acrylic, so it's probably going to light up. I wish that I had my scales out here so I could weigh this sucker, but you could just Google that. Looks like two 110mm fans and one 100mm fan in the middle. I mean, this thing is just massive. I want to peel off the sticker cover. This is my first time seeing this card. This one's pretty good too. It doesn't make me dizzy. It could be a little bit stronger, but has a nice... This one smells like balloons, that metal taste in your mouth, like when you lick rebar. And just a hint of strawberry. It's a pretty good smelling card. I'd rate it on the smell-o-meter probably a 7.5 out of 10. But it is a good looking card. I don't know if this plastic lights up or not yet, but it has some interesting metallic smoke effects underneath this plastic. It's a pretty handsome card. It has a lot going on it, but it's still at the same time very angular, not too crazy. I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work in this build, but man, is it so big though. Let's see what the proportions look like. I'm actually gonna have to get... I might have to redo the base. Oh boy. Is that 632 or M3? Thank you, JP. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for contributing to the Give Stuff Away Fund. Yeah, I'll show you the power supply I got next. And to be honest, I was thinking that a 500 watt power supply would be no problem, right? But who knows what they have done to this beast. Okay, there's gonna be a lot more weight over here, obviously, when we're all said and done. But I have to, like, move this card out just to get it to fit on my bracket. I might need to make a new bracket, which I don't want to do because Quakecon is not far away, and I already have to design some parts to 3D print to even make this work. Gonna have to use both thumb screws. This is a 2 thumb screw guy. I actually don't know if this thumb screw right here is functional. I never really planned to have a 3-pound video card in this mod. So I'm probably gonna have to tap that and put that out there. Boy, oh boy. Now the question is, does this look weird? I can't tell. I need to actually look on the stream. This is just ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. But that's what they wanted to put in here, so okay. We won't judge it until it's all said and done, but I think that I might have to do something different. I think that I might indeed have to... I don't even know. It was never made for this kind of power. The S4 Mini is available, Dillaboo 16, but it's the new S4 Mini, which you can only buy at SFF Lab. So the old S4 Mini Classic, I'm probably not going to make any more of those because it's a special edition system that's special to me and I don't want to overproduce it. And a lot of people purchase those knowing that they were going to be special editions. So I'd like to make more. I'd like to make more money. That'd be nice. But they never made money off of them anyway. But they were very special systems. Yes, Chad, I am sending this to Quakecon. Edward Chrysler is driving down from Illinois to spend a day with me at the beach. We're going to eat some seafood, and he's going to drive this up. And we will take this graphics card out because it will obviously not survive otherwise. So with this monstrosity over here, I actually need a real test bench because it's not going to balance on a box. I don't know what to do about that. Okay, so now with the motherboard, I believe this is it, the AB350 Gaming ITX Fatality Edition from ASRock. This one's good. That is a solid 8.2. The points are made up. They're totally made up. It's a good smelling motherboard though. AMD Ryzen Desktop 2000 ready. Well, I hope so. That is the one thing I'm not really super fond at with Ryzen is motherboard compatibility, RAM compatibility, driver compatibility. For those that are just tuning in, I'm having trouble with my APU system right now. It's 2400G, I believe that's the right one. But it doesn't like to stay stable. Like after a couple restarts, the drivers start to fail. I get a black screen. And it's getting harder and harder to deal with that. I need to find a fix for it. AMD did release new drivers on June 12th, which I'm trying out now, but we'll see what happens. Hey Fabio TNT, thank you for the wave. How's the texture? Felix, what texture? Isn't the RAM slots? A little bit spicy. It's that kind of plastic that burns your tongue a little tiny bit. I'm not going to lick the AM4 socket as much as I'd like to. I'm just not going to do that. Not on camera anyway. Okay. AMD CPUs. We are going to use nothing too fancy. The idea behind this build, Sapphire said, is that they just want something that they can easily exchange graphics cards for, but something that's going to last a long time. I wish they had the budget for something really cool. Here's your Ryzen 5 1600, by the way, which I will ship off to you later tonight. We are using a 7 1700. That's all we're using. Nothing too fancy. But it will be enough for display. I'll even send you this AMD tray, which used to have way more CPUs in it. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the size of the graphics card that this thing was originally meant to hold. So this is a Nitro 480. It's just not even a comparison. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is 3 slots wide too. Just enormous. Like if you put this in a normal ATX motherboard, it's gonna like probably start to peel the PCIe slot out of the motherboard. You're gonna have to go buy Bill Owen's GPU support bracket, which is really awesome, by the way. You should buy that anyway, just for the bling. The bling flacketer. Yeah, Felix, I think it is a Windows problem for sure. I just, hopefully that could be addressed with the drivers. But if you got any suggestions, I've already Googled everything, so you can't just Google it and then tell me the first 5 results. I've gone through a couple pages, but I've not had any luck whatsoever. Now for the CPU, we need something really low profile. This case was originally designed for a 1U cooler, the Zalman CNPS 2X. But we might, well, I don't really know. I'm going to mount the motherboard for now, and I'm going to see what kind of coolers I can use, because it'd be nice to use a Noctua. X Kitsune says, for my GPU sag, I have a Naruto pop figure holding it up. That's not a bad idea to get an action figure to do your heavy lifting, but Chingy asked how the Nitro box is doing right now, but I don't know which one you're talking about. You mean the VR build? The VR build went to my brother-in-law, I believe. Yeah, he has that. I did not try with another operating system, Fabio, because I wanted to, you know, run OBS and everything, and I can barely work that as it is. This is a bummer. Trying to get the lock nut off the standoff. Yeah, I should update my Mint USB drive. It's been a really long time. Oh, Robinson Joe suggests to use a rescue Windows install USB drive. And that was what I was talking about when I first started streaming, is that Windows 10 has been hiding safe mode with each revision of its ISO. And it gets to be more and more and more hidden. And the version I use today, it's gone. It's gone. The only way to put it in is to actually enable it within Windows, which of course I couldn't do. And I was like, why is this? And Microsoft's like, well, it's security reasons. So, yeah. So how this chassis works is there are studs for the standoffs. It's just a spacer and a stud, and then I use lock nuts. Don't ask me why I did it this way. You'd have to watch the series for how I built this, which I put a link in the description for. It's called Not From Concentrate, Season 1. Tyler, thank you for donating 19 bucks. It's going to go towards the giveaway hardware fund. I really appreciate you watching, man, and for donating. Donating again. You're like rockstar donator. Dillaboo asks, will the Skyreach forfeit the Zotac 1080 Ti Mini? Ooh, somebody needs to go watch my channel because I have lots of really cool builds where I put lots of work into the videos making stuff, not these silly live streams, which I enjoy because we get to hang out and talk, but there's not a lot going on right now. Lackakar, thank you for that. That makes a lot of sense. I have all sorts of really strange problems. I was just telling my buddy, he might be in the stream, that I can't get Edge to work until I get all the updates, which is weird. So you have to use Internet Explorer to get your driver updates because Edge doesn't work. It will load and you can Bing with it, but loading sites is really flaky and you can't download anything. So you can't even download Chrome to get it working again. All right, we're gonna mount this little guy, and it's probably gonna go like this. And then we'll put this right here. See if you can see it while I'm looking at it. And boy, that's gonna be real close. Let's get a Noctua and see what happens. This is obviously set for Intel right now, but maybe we can hold it on there and get an idea. This is my iPhone, just a constant state of I'm thinking. This actually might work. I have to take off the stock AMD retention brackets, I guess you'd call them. What's really disappointing, Minecraft After Piano, is that my iPhone 4S, that is the best phone I've ever owned. I still have that phone for when my phone goes down. I've had 2 Android phones since then. You know, they didn't last very long. And then my iPhone 6 Plus, which I'm not a big fan of at all, unfortunately. But that iPhone 4S, the camera's great, beautiful color on it, was rock solid, broke the screen out so many times. One time, it actually flew out of my jacket pocket on my motorcycle, dropped, did a roll, and got run over by a car behind me. Turned around, went back, got it, replaced the screen. I can't tell you how many times I replaced that screen, but it still works. It's fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. Oh boy. Oh boy. So this just might fit. Just possibly, maybe, will fit. And I would try using this new Vansny, I can't say this. Russians can't say squirrel, and Americans can't say Vanexy. Van Wei, is that Wei in Chinese? XIE? I don't know. But this would fit. Look at this little guy. This guy is teeny tiny, but it doesn't have AM4 brackets. So I don't think that's gonna work. And I think that they're discontinuing this guy, so I can't exactly just go ask them for AM4 brackets. I think I'm going to end up using the CNPS2X, and I'm going to either print 3D carbon fiber supports with the Markforged, with Compact's Markforged, or I'm going to just drill out new holes. There's actually a lot of clearance in that board too, so I think I could get away with moving the pitch over a little teeny tiny bit. But I will order something for next part of this assembly. For now, I'm gonna pop this off because I know the RAM fits. And we will start busting out this build, get it running. For RAM, I'm using 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance LPX, which tends to work pretty well with Ryzen. Say tends to work because with Ryzen, the best thing to do, of course, is to go to the manufacturer's board's website and go to the CPU compatibility list and the RAM compatibility list and buy the RAM off that. You can pretty much ignore it for Intel boards. Pretty much ignore it, I should say. Early on, when DDR4 was new, you couldn't ignore it. But now you can. But for Ryzen, especially overclocking, probably best to go look it up. Chingy asked if that's possible, but I have to scroll up to see what's possible. I don't know. I think we're talking about 3D printing a 3D printer, but that ain't gonna happen. Even with the Markforged. Even with the Markforged Metal X. Sapphire also sent a Crucial drive, MX500, 250 gigabytes. This is gonna be SATA. It's a SATA drive. Again, not super flashy system. The idea is just a solid system, low power draw, so they can swap cards in and out when they go to different shows. They can show off different stuff. But the case will do all the talking, in theory. I was hoping that we would have the standoff from ASRock already installed, but we do not. No big deal. We have a screw. I guess this little teeny tiny standoff that they have is gonna be the right height. It looked like the standoff that you screw a standoff into. And I did not pick out any of this hardware again. Sapphire picked it out and sent it. The only thing that I picked out was the power supply. So I actually don't even know if this motherboard supports SATA / PCIe Express. It might just only be PCI Express. But we're just going to cross our fingers and hope that this works, because that's all I can do right now. Hello, Gies from Germany. I think it's guys. I don't know. It seems like I would probably stick with your Phenom too. I should read the manual, or I should not read the manual. Just see if it works, and then I can read the manual. Speaking of drives, though, the Samsung 970 EVO is an incredible price right now. It's the lowest I've ever seen it. So if you are in need of a new good NVMe drive, go check it out. Earlier this morning, it was like $104 for a 250 gigabyte drive, and it was $190 for a 500 gigabyte drive. And the Samsung EVO 970 is great, fantastic, wonderful drive. So go check it out if you can. Those were Amazon prices, and Amazon is having a hard time right now. I wasn't able to buy anything. I wanted to go buy some for myself. Okay, we'll use the box, kind of, sort of, as a test bench. I'll probably have to get some tape and tape this down, because, oh my goodness. It's so heavy. Oh no, the lock locked on it. I didn't get it straight. All right, try again. Oh man. Oh, this is just ridiculous. It still wants to tip over. supply cables to prop it up in a minute. Yes, Pillow-kun, I love tiny motherboards, and I've done, if you go to my YouTube channel, I've reviewed several really itty-bitty tiny industrial ones. I've done some builds with them, screwed around with some. The last live stream, which I wouldn't recommend watching because it was really long, I looked at some of the micro STX boards, which are amazing. These put an MXM GPU on it, and it's the tiniest little thing that you can have, tiniest little computer you can have. And I'm developing a really high-end, low-run luxury chassis for these. But these things are cool. Cool. Power supply is next. So Sapphire sent me this Intermax Revolution power supply, and nothing against Intermax or whatever, but they use double crimped cables and 2-in-1 cables and a bunch of other different things that make it very difficult to sleeve. So I said, the one condition of me doing this short notice is that I want to pick the power supply. My favorite SFX power supplies are by Silverstone because they're all incredibly easy to sleeve. The cables come apart real easily. The pinouts are really nice. They've been really consistent for the past 6 years. So this is my favorite. This is the Silverstone 700. It's platinum rated power supply. Good stuff. And because I'm crunched for time, I cheated. I cheated very badly. I'd really recommend that you guys go to like a custom boutique sleever. Mod 1 is one example. Eventum sleeving is another example. Go get yourself, go support a modder / sleever, a small guy. But because I was so crunched for time and I had store credit, I actually got some from Cable Mod. So, not that there's anything wrong with supporting, of course, Cable Mod. It's just that I like to support small guys like me whenever I can. I'm working on the chassis, Dillaboo. It's a work in progress. I'm doing it for my own fun for doing it, so it's just taking a really long time. It's making it out of, the main material is a beam of walnut that is pre-Civil War to my knowledge. That's how far we could trace it back. It could be even older than that, but we have a story behind it, a real true story, which we'll go into the making of build, but it's really cool. It is really, really cool, and it's just a giant solid beam that's going to be milled out with a multi-mill, and we'll be inserting carbon fiber plates for the back plates, and I want to use either copper, if I can, or brass for the accentuating panel, the outside panels and stuff like that. I'm still looking for somebody that works with copper or brass, so if you know anybody, let me know, that can do good sheet metal work. At least 1.5 millimeter thick copper or brass plate. And yeah, so I'm really excited about it. These are the Cable Mod cables. They're pretty nice. They look good. This is their Cable Mod Pro Series 24 pin. And you just go on with their selector and you can just tell them what colors and what length that you want. Again, I like to support the little guys, but these guys, Cable Mod, make good stuff. And I can actually give out coupons for Cable Mod, up to 20% off. So if you are interested in that, let me know. They come with the Asus motherboards, and that's what I build for my customers, so I have a lot of them. So if you want one, just email me and I will give you a coupon. Looks pretty nice. So that's gonna go, if you can see this from this angle, I gotta scroll up so I can look. I'm getting a keyframe error in YouTube. I don't know how to fix that. Shilling at its finest. It's like the worst kind of shilling, the kind I don't even get paid for. Or free cables. It's like $100, but I had a coupon. So this is gonna go behind the motherboard. Gonna come down, plug into the top. Gotta make that curve. That's gonna work. It's gonna look pretty nice. So I'm gonna plug this in for now. Hey Robinson Joe, this is a custom built computer case by me. You can watch the web series on how I build it. It's called Not From Concentrate Season 1, and it's on my YouTube channel. And it's actually pretty interesting. Well, it's more interesting than possibly watching me fumble around assembling this right now, but... you can't order cable mod cables for the Skyreach because they only have a certain lengths available, and they're too long. Their base one is too long. But again, I recommend supporting the little guys if you can. This is the PCI Express cable. This is the... Ooh, that's going to be difficult. No, I actually got that right. The CPU cable for Silverstones has a crossover, so you have to get that plugged in the right direction. That would be bad if I messed that up. This thing is just comically big. Comically big. Got a stack of chunk of copper on top for now. This is my temporary, I don't have mount solution for keeping a CPU under control. Just an old, I believe it's a Dynatron block before they went to the vapor chamber design. And as long as it sits flush, which it does, that'll do, pig. It's gone forever. Why such a huge graphics card? I agree. Why such a huge graphics card? This build is for Sapphire for Quakecon, and they sent all the parts. So this is their choice on the hardware. I had input on the power supply. The graphics card might be comically big for this computer case when we're all said and done. I don't know. But the goal behind it is they have a computer case that they can easily replace the graphics card in for shows. You just unbolt it, take it right out, And it's going to be prominently on display here right in the front. So you'll be able to see all sides of it, which is good for a showpiece. So it's about the best answer I can offer. That's also a very big graphics card, Tyler. The Zotac 1080 Ti Amp Extreme. It's very big. I've seen that card. These are similar in size, though. This thing is enormous. Okay. We have most everything ready to go. I gotta... Oh, it's so heavy. Scooch this over to the HDMI. And I learned from Friday's video? Yeah, Friday's video that I can't have this plugged in to power or it makes a buzzing sound. So let me know if this is isolated. I'm actually running this monitor off of battery power, if you can believe it. So we're going to see if we get a signal, boot this up. I'm going to get a longer power cable. I hope this reaches. I'll use an extension cord so I can have it isolated from all the camera gear. The whole reason I did this is so I don't trip over it, but I don't think that's going to stop me from tripping over anything. I should get a mouse of some kind. Nah, I don't need a mouse right now. What I don't have is any kind of indicator LED that tells me we have power on the motherboard. I gotta find the jump cable. But it works. Let's see if it posts. It's making it, I don't know if you guys can hear it from the mic. It's going, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like resetting. Oh, here it goes. We have a post. Nice. I don't actually have any stickers, though, that I can put in my congratulate myself with stickers tool chest. But here is the graphics card. It looks kind of cool. I hope it's RGB, because I'd be just lame to get stuck with blue. Probably is RGB, but that would look really nice with a white LED. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, I guess you can see it there. It's nice, especially with how it faces in a normal computer case. I was hoping that these front bezels, these clear bezels would light up. That would be kind of nice. I mean, it's all about choice at the end of the day, because a lot of people would just disable them, or run a nice white. I will say we don't have the drivers installed, and of course it's just asked me for my boot media. It's not silent, but all of Sapphire's Nitro cards usually run with the fans off until they get hot enough, so I'm not too worried about that. Tyler Fredrickson asked me if I ever think about a passively cooled Skyreach build, and eventually that will happen, but I have too many cool Skyreach builds to do before I get to that point. I think I'm probably going to wait and see what we get for the 11 series before I do that. Thank you, Dillaboo. I appreciate the support of this system, and check out my web shop at nfc-systems.com for all your accessory needs. Me too, Tyler. Me too. I'll be excited to get it done. I am so sick of that major water-cooled build. There's going to be 3 of them. There's one by Brian Dong, and I've helped him a little bit with that. It looks amazing. He did an amazing job. And that's kind of the traditional liquid-cooled mini concept, where you have 2 small radiators inside it and a custom water block with a custom pump built in the custom water block for the CPU. And I don't know what he's running for the GPU block. And then my build is a little bit different. I wanted a massive radiator. So, of course, what does any sane person do when they want a massive radiator? They go and they get one made. So it's going to fit on the side. And, of course, that meant that I had to replace the sides on the Mini. So I had to design new ones. And I have the water channels running throughout the computer case sides itself. So it's custom water block 2, custom GPU block. It's a mess. Custom power supply by G-Unique. That's amazing. I cannot wait to show that. I really, really want to get that done so I can show you guys. That's not a bad idea, Chingy. I actually did work on something like that a long time ago for an all-in-one, but that was before the Mac all-in-ones got to be really cool, and that design just kind of wasn't worth pursuing anymore. What AM3 Plus CPU would I use? Honestly, I don't know enough about them to make a recommendation to you, so I'm not going to. I'm mostly use Intel. I've been trying to switch over to use Ryzen for some particular builds now that DirectX 12 applications are coming out, but I'm still struggling with getting them to run solid all the time, so I don't do a lot of them. Anyway, there is not a lot more I'm going to do today on this build because I started so late as it is. We have a post. I have to figure out the CPU cooler situation. For the power supply, what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize these 2 bolts, get new longer ones. I'm going to design a bracket which is going to come down and then come over and cradle the 700 watt power supply, and I'm going to 3D print it on the Markforged Mark II carbon fiber printer when I get the new parts to get it up and running again. So that's going to take care of this issue. The cooler is another issue I need to figure out. I'm actually concerned about the 24-pin cable because I think I planned for it to be up here where the old one was, but this is actually a modern layout, and it's going to pop up over here. No, it's not. I'm wrong. Okay, good. I did it right. I don't have to worry about that. And then, of course, the big guy is the big guy. I don't know how this thing is going to be enormous. Massive. Ridiculous. So I have to figure out how to make it look good inside this tiny package. And I also might have to change the base, which I don't want to do because this is, you know, a piece of art and I don't really want to hack it up. I've even signed the bottom of it. So one thing I can do today, I'm going to glue the original SSD back on because it's not functional anymore. Obviously, the RAM got torn right out of it when someone tried to remove it. But I will put that on there, and I will use a high-tip glue. That's right. Never touch a running system unless you don't mind getting shocked or destroying the hardware. Or, you know, you're grounded via grounding strap. So, which is plugged into your belt. Hopefully the next stream will go much better, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Really happy to give that Ryzen 1600 away. And I hope we'll have more of this organized the next time that I stream. I'm trying to figure out how to do streaming in my shop too, my shop over there, so I can actually cut and Dremel and hack stuff up. I'll probably just stream from my iPad temporarily, but it'd be nice to figure out a better solution. Chingy, yes, the HDPlex AC/DC they're basically power bricks, like laptop power bricks. But in some configurations, they can be mounted internally. And Andrew Vigil, you've heard about the HDPlex 400 AC/DC that's coming out, right? Because that is a great example of why that more headroom can be useful. I'll just wait. I don't mind hanging out a little bit longer. We could take the fan off and see how long it takes for the system to turn off. Okay, that's about hot enough. Why am I not getting a good grip? It's not hot enough yet. We're having technical difficulties with the hot glue. So, I have to fix this, I have to fix my streaming PC, I have to fix another computer, clean up the office, get prepared to stream me actually working on this. So this might be a good time to call the stream. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I really do, and I'll see if the system can be up and running so we don't have, 15 minutes of audio troubleshooting next time. Appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for hanging out. Turn off the camera. See ya!